Unfortunately, you see before you the start of my previous failed crit, and not a 46-year-old man on the start of some kind of glorious redemption, actually managing to complete the race and clinging on like grim death to the bunch. The day before my second race, I got pinged by the NHS Track and Trace app. Hence, after my isolation ended, I decided to replicate my very own crit race for one. Let's see if I can actually win it. Okay, finish it.
London looking amazing. En route to Hogg Hill to practice my crit skills. Well, as always, nothing goes quite according to plan because the circuit is set up to go in the anti-clockwise direction, and normally we race clockwise. That means we only have the one ascent up the main hill rather than Hogg Hill and the ascent over there. No matter, it will still be a good training and I'll build the fitness required to be successful here. I just won't learn the lines quite as well, or relearn the lines quite as well. Anyway, onwards.
Rolling the onboard camera on the first of 15 laps, my ambition was to replicate the surges in power needed for the final third of the main climb and the nuclear power for the shallower second climb, plus sustain a good pace in between. Of equal importance was getting back to grips with finding nice race lines and sustaining momentum. Granted, nothing replaces being in the crit itself, where random attacks will cause surges at different times, with the peloton then stringing out and power investment needed to hold the wheel in front. Plus, little losses of momentum at different times, often inconvenient, e.g. on the climb, to avoid running into the back of someone. You'll see in the Training Peaks data that I stayed pretty consistent throughout with this element of the morning's training block, clocking in at 51 minutes with average power of 255 watts and normalised power of 276 watts and 35.5 kilometers an hour. And you'll see in the next video the benefit of the draft itself in an actual race in terms of the additional speed of only slightly higher normalised power. As always, I forgot to film myself saying this, but please like, comment and subscribe.
Well, I just completed 15 crit style laps in the reverse direction, but it felt good and definitely is going to replicate the fitness I'll need a fortnight on Saturday for the crit race I've got here. I forgot when I was doing the introduction to this that in the reverse you've got the hill that you come up here after the main climb that you saw as well. So definitely replicates well the need to punch hard, recover briefly and punch hard again before you recover nicely down the hill here. Anyway, I'm straight off to the Olympic Velo circuit now. It's on the way home to do an hour of tempo. Here's part 2 of Etap, the cycle circuit. Well, I just completed 1 hour at 245 watts, which is zone 3 for me. I was very disciplined with the power. The floor 220, ceiling 265. And my little legs are absolutely dead. So I'm gonna cruise home now and have plenty of carbs. Today's ride, I did the training up at Hogg Hill, fasted, and then I've consumed about 80-85 grams of carbs to get me through to this bit. We've got about 114 kilometers on the clock, but I do feel drained now. London's sure busy. Well, Ian Carson and Paul Alexander, turns out I am now officially a 220 man. Well, normalised anyway. Here we go. Just under 4 hour ride, 123 kilometres. Average speed 30.9. Average power 180. Normalised 228. Oh dear. 49.51. Why can I not get it 50-50? Does it say how much climbing we did? Let's have a look. Yeah, 1,300 metres. That was a tough old session in outer and inner London. Anyway, I am absolutely shattered, so time to carb up. Well, here in Recovery Corner, I've just downed a protein shake. Carbohydrates are on my mind, but Jane has baked this pain raison. Looks really cinnamony and lovely. I'll have a bit of that in a second. And I've also got this cranberry and raisin and cashew Tesco's Blue Mist. These are amazing, especially when you pair it up with the rhubarb and strawberry jam, which is back on the deck. The ultimate greens and a vitamin C. That'll all be consumed a little bit later, and a load of fruit and veg as well. So here we go. Jane. Very nice, Jane. Very nice indeed. Well, it's Monday morning and I'm in the gym, and that's unusual for me. Yesterday was a tough crit training at Hogg Hill, followed by the tempo at the Olympic Velo Circuit. Now, normally I would take the day off, but I've got a really hard weekend of riding planned and also a tough training on the Wednesday. So when I get my lower body training squared away for the week, I'm only going to do the one session this week to give myself plenty of time for recovery, in particular for the weekend's riding. Now, on the recommendation of Found, I've decided to sub out the single leg deadlifts and the single leg Romanian deadlifts for the barbell Romanian deadlifts. That's because the barbell Romanian deadlift is going to warm up the glutes, the hamstrings and the core very nicely, but also puts a greater training stress on those muscles, and hopefully will encourage a more significant adaptation, which will translate to more power and better strength on the bike. So aiming for 8 reps here with my body weight, well, just a bit above my body weight. It was 65 kilograms in total. Yeah, I mean, they felt good. You can really feel the glutes, the hamstrings and the core having to work hard. You've got to focus a lot on really getting stability through the core, squeezing the abs and keeping the air in there. Also, you've got to work hard to retract the lat muscles in order to keep the nice straight back and help you go as low as possible, keeping good back out by a straight lumbar spine. Felt good. So that was 3 sets of 8 with a 65. Now on for the main event, the conventional deadlift. Well, on the conventional deadlift, I've just warmed up with 5 at 65, followed by 5 at 70, and they felt good. So now looking for a little bit of aggression versus last week, with 3 at 77.5 rather than 75, and ultimately we'd like to get to 1 at 85. We'll see. Well, the third rep was okay, a little bit slower than I'd really wanted. Well, I've been in search of progression, but 85 isn't going to happen. However, 82.5 is viable. I've done 2 decent reps at 82.5, looking for a third here. That still represents 2.5 kilograms more than last week, where I got 1 really nice rapid rep, or well, 3 times at 80. Well, that felt good, and I think the form and the shape held nicely. The bar speed was okay as well. And you can see that on the conventional deadlift, I'm very much focused on heavier weights for me and lower reps, which is great for focusing on building strength. Whereas in previous weeks on a single leg deadlifts and a single leg Romanian deadlifts, and also today
On the barbell Romanian deadlift, the rep range was higher. It was in the 8 to 10 range, which is great at building strength, but you also build more muscle size as well. But in my experience, if you're focusing more on building your 5 rep max or your 3 rep max or your 1 rep max with heavier weights, but good form, i.e. low rep, heavy weight, good form, that's better ultimately at translating to your ability to execute more reps at slightly lower weights and progress better at those higher rep sets than if you just focus on high rep sets in the 8 to 12 range only. Hence, I think, because strength is the more valuable currency, that's what I'm going to focus on for the time being with the main lift. Well, that was a very relaxed but nonetheless enjoyable training session, taking plenty of rest between sets, anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes, and just 8 working sets in total, including 3 of the Romanian barbell deadlift and 5 with the conventional deadlift. And that 5 with the conventional includes the 5 reps at 70, which was a quasi warm-up set almost. And deliberately keeping the volume low on the lower body, because the main effort, of course, over the summer is getting outdoors and enjoying the cycling and the fruits of our labour over the course of the winter and the early spring. Well, yesterday in the gym I trained the lower body, Romanian barbell deadlifts and conventional barbell deadlifts. So today it's time to train the upper body. I've just completed 5 sets of 3 to 4 reps of the incline bench, and now moving on to the weighted chin-up. Looking to complete these with 10 kilograms added. Yeah, super tough as always. I'll probably drop a rep on the next couple of sets as well. Probably aiming for 3 sets of 3 to 5 reps here. Whew. Well, time for a quick conditioning update. Now the light is coming in from the side. Also, I'm just back from the gym having trained the upper body, and I've got a little twist here to the torso, so that's all quite flattering. Now my weight is held stable in the 63 to 64 kilogram range. And as you can see, the definition remains good, and that's indicative of good body composition, i.e. a nice ratio of lean muscle mass to body fat, and that's great from an athletic perspective. Additionally, the sleep has been good, plus the strength has been eking up a little bit in the gym, added to which the endurance on the bike has been gradually improving, as has a top end power. So a combination of good recovery, good sleep, and a little bit of progress on the bike and in the gym, plus nice power to weight on the climb, is leading me to conclude that this is a good little place for me to kind of hold steady in terms of the body weight in that 63 to 64 kilogram range over the next 2 or 3 months. Over the winter or the off season, the Zwift season, I may add on a kilogram or 2 in order to progress a little bit faster in the gym.